Imagine living in a home where the walls whisper at night, where laughter echoes though no one is there, where poison sits by your bedside, and your death is blamed, not on man, but on a witch. This is the chilling true folklore of the Bell Witch. A story of haunting, betrayal, and a crime forever buried in mystery. In the quiet farmland of Red River, Tennessee, the Bell family lived what seemed to be the perfect life. A big farm, healthy children, a respected name. But in 1817, something dark entered their home. Something that would torment them for years. Something that many believed was not just a ghost, but a murderer. This is the legend of the murderous Bell Witch. It began quietly. One autumn night, John Bell woke to a sound. At first, he thought it was a rat in the corn crib. Scratching. Gnawing. Small. But when he rose from bed, lantern in hand, the sound stopped. The fields outside were silent. The children slept soundly. He shook his head and returned to sleep. But the next night, it came again. Louder. The scratching crawled across the walls, then under the beds. The Bell children sat up, wide-eyed. Sheets tugged from their little hands. One screamed, pointing to the corner, but there was nothing. Night after night, the disturbances grew bolder. Footsteps thudded across the wooden floors. Chains rattled, dragged by unseen hands. And then, the whispers began. Soft, at first. So soft that Lucy Bell thought she was dreaming. But soon, everyone heard it. John. John Bell. The whisper slithered through the house like smoke. It came from the walls. From the ceiling. From nowhere. Lucy clutched her Bible. The children sobbed. And John, though shaken, swore to keep it quiet, for fear the neighbors would call them cursed. But secrets cannot last forever. Neighbors began to notice. At night, they saw lanterns flickering wildly in the Bell windows. They heard the children screaming. They heard laughter. Soon, brave men came to spend the night at the Bell home. They mocked the rumors. They laughed at the children's fear. But when the scratching began, when the sheets ripped themselves from the bed, when a voice, low and mocking, hissed from the shadows, "I am here," the men ran into the night, pale as death. The witch names herself, 14 to 1800 hours. At last, the voice grew strong enough to speak clearly. "I am Kate. Kate Batts. I will see John Bell destroyed." Kate Batts, John's neighbor. A woman who accused him of cheating her in a land deal. A woman many already called strange. Could she have cursed him? Or was someone using her name to hide something worse? From that night forward, the Bell Witch had a name. And the hauntings would never stop. The voice grows strong, 1800 hours to 2400 hours. The witch was no longer whispers. She was a voice, sharp, mocking, cruel. She sang hymns to mock the children. She quoted entire Bible passages. She revealed secrets no one could have known. Ministers came to banish her. But she laughed at them, reciting their sermons word for word before they even spoke. Neighbors brought skeptics. But the skeptics left pale and trembling when unseen hands slapped them across the face. The witch thrived on attention. The more who came, the stronger she grew. But her cruelty focused most on young Betsy Bell. At night, Betsy screamed as unseen hands pulled her hair, slapped her, pinched her until her skin turned blue. Her sweetheart, Joshua Gardner, tried to comfort her. He swore to protect her. But whenever they met, the witch's voice shrieked, "Betsy Bell, you will never marry Joshua Gardner." The haunting grew violent. Joshua was shoved, struck, humiliated. And Betsy, broken by terror, finally ended their courtship. The witch laughed for nights afterward. But the true target was John Bell himself. His health faltered. He stumbled in the fields. His speech slurred. The witch mocked him at every step. "John Bell, you are cursed. John Bell, you will die." By 1820, he could barely leave his bed. Then came the poison. One morning, John's son found a vial of strange, black liquid by his father's bedside. Furious, he tested it on the family cat. The cat convulsed and died instantly. The family cried out, and the witch's voice rang through the house. I gave him that medicine. He is mine now. John Bell slipped deeper into illness. The end was near. John Bell's death, 40:00, 48:00. On December 20th, 1820, John Bell was found lifeless in his bed. The witch screamed in triumph. He is gone. John Bell is dead. The town buried him in grief. But whispers spread like fire. Had the witch truly killed him? Or had someone inside the house, poisoned him, using the legend as cover? Suspicion fell on Lucy, on Betsy, on the sons. But no proof was ever found. The poison remained a mystery. The haunting after death, 48:00, 54:00. Even after John's death, the witch remained. She tormented Betsy. She mocked Lucy's prayers. She shrieked through the fields at night. And then, she made a prophecy. I will return in 100 years. I will bring proof. I will never rest. In 1928, exactly 100 years later, journalists, thrill seekers, and historians came to Red River. They camped near the old Bell property, waiting for the witch. Some swore they heard her laughter. Some claimed to see a dark figure in the fields. But no proof came. And yet, the legend only grew stronger. To this day, locals lower their voices at night when passing the old Bell land. Some say you can hear scratching under the floorboards. Some say you can hear Betsy's sobs. And some swear, if you stand alone in the fields, you'll hear a voice whispering in your ear. I was never gone. I am still here. Musical note, eerie music fades. This is the true crime and folklore of the murderous Bell Witch. Long after John Bell's death, the town of Red River never felt the same. Families moved away. Travelers avoided the Bell land. And those who stayed, whispered. Children dared one another to walk past the Bell farm at night. Some claimed to see a woman in black standing by the trees. Others swore they heard a woman's voice, laughing in the wind. The land became known as cursed. The very soil was said to carry death. The Bell family descendants grew up under a shadow. Some left Tennessee, changing their names, hoping to outrun the curse. Yet wherever they went, stories followed. A Bell descendant in Mississippi reported waking at night to hear John Bell whispered beside his bed. Another, living in Kentucky, swore she was slapped awake by invisible hands, just as Betsy once had been. The Bell name, once respected, became a mark of fear. Years later, explorers discovered a cave near the old Bell property. The locals called it the Bell Witch Cave. Children who wandered too close reported being pushed, scratched, or hearing whispers. Some tourists claimed to see phantom shadows moving inside. But skeptics said otherwise. Could the cave have been used by someone, a flesh and blood killer, to hide, to sneak, to torment the Bells? Could the witch have been a human enemy, cloaking murder and superstition? If so, who placed the poison? Who wanted John Bell dead badly enough to weave a legend around his murder? No one ever answered. In modern times, ghost hunters and thrill seekers still visit the Bell property. Some leave laughing. Others leave pale, refusing to speak of what they saw. A documentary team in the 1980s reported their equipment failing every time they neared the Bell Witch Cave. Microphones picked up faint whispers. I am still here. Tourists have fainted, claiming to feel a hand tighten around their throats. And once, a guide swore he saw a woman's face, pale, sunken, eyes burning, staring from the darkness. But when the light touched it, there was nothing. The Bell Witch has no ending. Some say she was the ghost of Kate Batts, wronged in life. Others say she was the devil himself, laughing at the Bells. And some, the most chilling theory of all, whisper that the witch was not a spirit, but a human murderer, hiding crime beneath the mask of folklore. The poison was real. The death was real. The voice, whether ghostly or human, remains unexplained. And even now, on quiet nights in Tennessee, farmers claim to hear it again. John Bell. John Bell. The whisper slides through the fields. The laughter echoes from the trees. And if you dare to walk the land where John Bell once lived, you may feel a hand on your shoulder and a voice in your ear. I was never gone. I am still here. Musical note: music fades into silence.